Are you just starting out with gold prospecting or have been doing it for quite a while and haven't even found your first speck of gold yet? Well, I've got a 4-step plan, 1, 2, 3, 4, that will significantly increase your probability of finding your first piece of gold. And you won't have to know anything about geology. You won't have to know the difference between beach sand and granite because geology doesn't even come into it. If that sounds like something of interest to you, stay tuned. This is a 4-step plan. And the first step is super simple. Basically, it is go where the gold is. Sounds pretty simple, sounds pretty basic, sounds so simple it can't be true. Okay, but it is true. You want to go to places where there's known gold mineralization. And that step alone will significantly increase your chances of finding. So I'm going to walk through this plan and write it up here and show it you on the screen so you can copy it down or whatever you want to do. So step 1 is go to the gold. I'll show you how to do that in a second. 2, find available ground. 3, is there drilling nearby? Apologies for the bad handwriting. My dad always said I should have been a doctor. Okay. 4, is there soil sampling nearby? Okay. Those 4 steps, if you can tick off those bits, then you are significantly ahead of 80% of all the other gold prospectors out there. Okay. So go where the gold is. This is something you can do in Trilobite, GeoView, dozens of other applications. I'll use this application. And we'll go to gold locations. That is known gold locations across the state. They go all the way from the pointy end to the blunt end. There's lots of them. I don't know how many. It's probably well over a couple of thousand, more than enough. And you can zoom right in and you can see how densely packed they are in places. Okay, the next bit is find those gold locations on ground that you are allowed to go to. Now, you can't go to all of these because many of them will fall on known mining leases or live prospecting or whatever type leases you cannot go on. Okay. So the normal way of doing it, and I'm going to show you at the end, a super fast way of doing it. Okay, you go on there and turn on, for example, all the live leases. Now, you can zoom down. Now, why did I not turn on the pending tenements? Now, for those of you who don't know, there's two types of leases. There's pending and there's live. Pending leases, basically, it's in the process of going live, and in that process, anyone is allowed to go on there and prospect with hand tools. Can't use machinery, but until that lease goes live, it is basically open slather. It can, but sometimes pending leases of different types can overlap live leases. And if this occurs, then the live always wins. So this is why I turned on lives, because if it shows up as no live on it, then I'm cooking. Okay, so you can see in this mass of leases and gold locations that there's a lot of these yellow triangles are sitting on top of the green hashed here, which is the live tenements. But if I zoom in onto some of these down here, you can see, I thought that was free, but it's not. And these ones are here are all in live, and I'm over here and I can see they are in live, and you can slowly go insane looking for pending leases or vacant ground. Now, I'm going to eyeball around because I haven't looked for it before. Oh, there's one there. There's a bunch there that you can possibly go on. Now, I only talked about leases, but you also have to check about things like what other restricted lands. Maybe there's some legislated lands, national parks, etc., reserves, the Aboriginal lands, and indigenous areas, Section 19s you're not allowed on, or some exempted areas. Okay, boom, those ones are ruled out. So you can't go on there, but that one's a possibility. Okay, a bit of a work to do, but again, makes life a lot easier to do it. So I'll turn these ones off, and let's get rid of them down here. Okay, we got live at least. Okay, the next thing, I'm just going to get rid of all these lease boundaries here. But let's say we found, let's just say for argument's sake, this was good. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Then we need to go and say, was there any drilling on this thing? Okay, so we go and turn on the drilling. Okay, so none of these things have been drilled out before. Now, there could be a bunch of reasons. Just never was high enough grade, never enough interest. But you can see many of these other workings are associated with drilling, which sounds promising. And then you can go into the gold soil. Okay. And you can, again, you look inside here, and as you zoom in, what we're looking for is the black is the lowest grades here, and we can turn on the legend. It's 0 to 6, going all the way up into the highs, anything from green, red, and purple. So basically you're saying there's green gold mineralization coming through here. There's a good trend running through here. And so there's some interesting gold workings along here. They haven't soil sampled up here. There could be good reasons for it. But in saying that, the gold does look like it extends down a long strike here. Okay, so that's your 4 simple ways of finding gold. Look for known gold, look for available ground, look for nearby drilling. If you've got at least those 3, you're in a good location. And if you can find some anomalous or even just nearby soil samples on it, you've significantly increased your chances. So what I'm going to show you now, and again, it's a super simple technique, is that I'll turn off some of these things here because we don't need them on. And so you've seen the gold locations here, and we've seen the live here, and they're all over the place, and you can't see them. So there's all a mess of stuff. Okay. What happens if there was a way that you could only see the gold locations that did not occur on live? Okay. That's straight away taken the first 2 steps out of the 4-step process. Straight away it's gone. Okay. That data set is available. Okay. It's not available anywhere else except here in this application, or I'm giving you a link where you can actually get this data set and you can load it into your own application like Trilobite or whatever else you're using, and it will turn up as dots on a map, and you can query it for as long as you want. I'm selling that one for $7. Okay. How many grams is that one there? Now, when gold is almost $200 a gram, you don't have to find much gold to pay for the $7 data set. But in here, it's free. So here we go down to, I'll turn off the gold locations here. What this got down here is gold not live, not on live. Now, where those red things turn up, the gold location does not fall on a live lease. Okay. So let's choose it. Now, it looks like a mess. You can think, how can that be true? Let's zoom in. Oh, wow, look at that. There's an itty bitty little leases inside here with known gold locations on it. And there, and just in this little bit up here, and all over. So there is truckloads of gold locations on non-live leases that you could possibly go and visit and do your next due diligence to turn on your drilling, which you can do at GeoView or here or whatever application you're using, and significantly increase your chances of looking for gold. So those are the 4 steps to use, guys. Find gold on non-live. That's steps 1 and 2. So now basically I've given you a 2-step process now. Find gold on non-live, and 2, look for some drilling on or very close to it. I want to turn on some drilling here. You could use this extra step to even more convinced that there's gold there. Because many a times a mining company will come in, and I've done it myself in the past as a geologist. You'd come in and drill out a prospect because it had all the right characteristics and made all the right noises, and you poke 4 or 5 holes into it, and it comes back with diddly, absolutely nothing. You walk away, okay? Find the next place. Boss is usually not too happy, but you've given your best shot as long as you can justify it. But if any of those holes intersect something that's worth following up, then you usually come back and you follow up with deeper holes close to the other ones to see if there's any continuity to the mineralization. If there is, and it's still running good mineralization, they'll keep stepping out until they define the limits of the known mineralization. If the gold is not high enough mineralization, but looks interesting, they might step it out a bit to see if it improves. If it doesn't, it walks away. Does that mean it's basically a no-go? No. There could be enough gold there for a small-scale prospector, metal detector to make some good money, but it's not enough there for a mining company. Mining company is going to be looking for hundreds of thousands of tons of ore to make it worthwhile. Okay, just 10 tons of ore running decent grade can be very good for a prospector. Okay, so in the different types of drilling here, we've got shallow drilling, okay, which is normally a RAB and air core and etc. type drilling. They usually drill down to solids and stop, and they do the soil sampling, and you can see how closely they've sampled here. And then there's deeper drilling, and you can see this is the drilling like RC, diamond, etc., where they've found something of value in the shallower drilling and they've come back and poked some holes in the much, much more expensive drilling rigs to poke some holes in. So they've obviously found something there down here, along here, but this other drilling didn't find anything at all. So when you're looking at your drilling, you found known gold, turned on, was there some shallow drilling? Yes. Was there some deeper drilling? Yes. Even more promising, was there some nearby gold samples floating around that are anomalous? Yes. Get in the car and go metal detecting. I hope that helps, guys. I've left a link to the data set in the pinned comment, and that should really turbocharge your gold prospecting. Okay, guys, if you found this of value, I'd love it if you give me a like, thumbs up, and maybe if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.